Welcome back once again to another Johnny Torch Live broadcast. Doing just a little bit of experimentation there for a second. I don't know if you could hear, but I'm trying to make sure that the audio is okay. I don't want the noise of the fan to really take away from the broadcast experience. From the little I can tell, I don't think it is. If it does, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's just too hot to not have a fan on. But I hope it doesn't take away from the audio experience. Welcome into the show. Another glorious, warm. It's not quite summer yet, I guess technically, but we'll just say a nice, warm Saturday afternoon here, high atop stately Torch Tower, overlooking the fair metropolis below. The only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnny Torch Live program. Not going to call this a Torch News Roundup. There really isn't a whole lot of news to talk about. I mean, they gave us a teaser image of the Batman suit, the Batman emblem with Michael Keaton's Batman suit allegedly coming back, and an image of Zach Levy as Shazam, I guess. I mean, couldn't really build a whole hour show over that. So I'll probably try to talk about those things once we get a fairly substantial show together that we can talk about, because there really isn't much to say there. But welcome to the show. We're going to do a little artwork here. Now, this is the image we're working on right now. That is the super smarmy looking Carrot Top. He looks like he's quite pleased with himself. I'm not going to tell you why. But, yeah, that's what we're working on today. You can watch all my mistakes happening live. I forgot to switch the layer. All right. So we get the background color already set up. You got your titanium white ready, I hope, and your cadmium red. Is that what it is? Cadmium red? I haven't painted a long time. I don't remember. You got your liquid white ready. You know, Bob Ross stuff. All Bob Ross type stuff. Okay, so got your canvas all spread out here and painted down. And we're going to just make some happy little mistakes happen. I titled the stream Drama Not Really. I'm really just making a mess here, but that's just to kind of fill it in. I'll clean it up later, I promise. I'll clean it up, Mom, I promise. But no real drama to talk about, but there was some ongoing stuff going on this week on Twitter pertaining to Comicsgate, and I kind of just got sick of the sort of ongoing fighting and rabble that's going on. I don't know. I don't want to say I lost my cool, but I said, you know, at this point, when are we going to have an end to the Comicsgate versus the Antis battle that's been going on for, I don't know, as long as Comicsgate's been going on, probably. Because it really doesn't serve to defeat the real enemies. The real enemies are the SJWs. They're the ones that are taking over our beloved franchises and genres. It seems to me that the Antis are so really worked up about, you know, the Comicsgate, and we got to prove that Ethan is a grifter and your boy Zach is a grifter and this and that. And I just feel like they prove their point. I don't understand what there is to gain to continually beat the drum over this. Now, I know, and as I said on Twitter, there was a lot of crap went down, and I don't blame anybody for harboring any kind of ill will, so to speak. But I just don't understand why we don't call some kind of a truce, call an armistice, if you will. Try to focus on how the SJWs are destroying pretty much everything they get their hands on, from Star Wars to He-Man to Marvel to DC, everything you love. They're the ones that are really ruining it. It has nothing to do with, you know, person you hate on Comicsgate or the person you hate in anti-Comicsgate or whatever. I just kind of feel it's time now. I kind of feel it's time, and I think a lot of people probably sense this as well. There's another lawsuit going on. Heard something about it on one of Nasser's streams between Preston and EVS, and you know, it's an ugly business. I'm not really going to get into that, but I mean, it kind of feels like at this point, this is just an endless affair that I feel like is not worth the effort anymore. It's going nowhere, and you know, all the times you want to bash either somebody in Comicsgate or somebody in anti-Comicsgate, the real enemy is the SJWs. The real enemy is the people that are ruining these franchises. You want to call people grifters. You want to say they're only in it for the money. You want to say they're late and they're not professional. That all may be true, and it probably is true in a lot of cases. It's not helping to change the fact that the big two, the mainstream, the stuff that we love, it's all being destroyed right before our very eyes. And trying to hammer these other people as grifters, well, you know, I'm not against capitalism. If you can make a buck peddling outrage and so on and so forth, that's up to you. I mean, you can be respected or disrespected depending on whoever the person is that is watching and observing whatever your actions are. If they can tell that you're just in it for a buck, chances are you're not going to go far. But, you know, there's one born every minute. If you can make a buck being disingenuous, there's no rule against that, as we well know. But that's kind of what the drama I was talking about, you know, because I have a lot of respect for the anti-guys. I have a lot of respect for the Comicsgate guys. And as I said, I'm really nobody's boy. I don't really have a stake in this. As I've always said, I've got Comicsgate principles. I feel very strongly that even before Comicsgate was a thing, that you don't, bow to the altar of the politically correct and the SJW's view on diversity and feminism and all that crap. You just tell a good story. And quite frankly, that turned into like a controversy somehow. I don't understand it. And as I said before, in a sense, what Ethan Van Sciver has said has proved to be true. I think whether you take upon yourself the moniker of Comicsgate is irrelevant. If you don't toe the line with them, you are Comicsgate to them, to the mainstream, to the big two, to the outside forces that are trying to force SJW politics and creeds into the beloved mainstream, as it was, at least at one point. And, you know, it's unfortunate that to them, no matter what side you're on, you're going to be the enemy. So it really doesn't matter. It's in a sense, I feel like if you make it your own, make it your own. Make Comicsgate whatever it is you want it to be. That's basically the only way. Because you're going to be the enemy no matter what. And as I said, it feels like the antis at this point are just doing more and more going after Comicsgate when we really should be unifying against the real enemy. I can understand, though, a lot of harm was done by Comicsgate, in my opinion. When, oh gosh, I guess at that point there when, I mean, I've said this before as well, or I feel like Peter Simeti was the one really to be the face of Comicsgate. Because he's actually in there pitching and he's trying to get people platformed, and that was kind of what we were promised with Comicsgate, at least from what I remember from Ethan. And then a lot of headaches came when on the table once let's say Mindy Wheeler and Preston were trying to have their things promoted, their books and whatever projects, and then Ethan started going Dr. Smith on everyone. He started feigning, oh, the pain. I think I shall go mad. And that's kind of what sparked off this whole Antis movement, because then he used War Campaign to basically run roughshod over anybody who was giving him a headache, at least from his point of view. But he gave out at least the appearance of wanting to help the common creator, so to speak. And so he kind of took it upon himself, this fan backlash. And then by using War Campaign as sort of his shock troops to sort of keep the controversy away from him, kind of only served to bring it closer to him, I think. But yeah, I don't like talking drama. I don't like being embroiled in drama. I actually try to stay away from it. But I just got into a bit of a dust-up this week because on Twitter I was kind of saying some things about how I think that it's kind of fruitless now. I mean, maybe it always was. Maybe this was just, maybe this was just for the big leaguers. Maybe this never was. Comics maybe never was this big shot at the big time that everybody took it for being. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't to begin with. But as I said, no matter what side of the octagon you're on, I treat everybody the same. I mean, you have my respect if you respect me. If you don't tread on me, I'll do likewise. It's basically the golden rule. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Very biblical stuff. Not too difficult to put into practice. So, but there's always going to be headaches. There's always going to be people that are trying to take advantage of you. So I understand that. But as I said, I don't like being part of any group sort of wholesale. You know what I mean? I align myself with people as individuals and what they believe in. And if it matches up with what I believe in, then chances are we are going to get along. All right, let's talk about what's going on here in this panel. Of course, this has been taking me a long time. Bullets Bourbon number 8, Temptation Eyes. And here, Carrot Top is, well, he's sort of rejoicing over a development here that's happened. And that's all I'm at liberty to say. Things are going right for him so far. And Pickle Puss, as is usually the case, is somewhat, somewhat at a loss. He's not that bright. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to catch up with what's happening. And, of course, Pickle Puss is, like I said, sort of the SME to Carrot Top's Captain Hook. He's lovable, not too bright, but loyal to a fault. I was also saying on Twitter how I'm coming close to the end of season 1 of Bullets Bourbon. I see these as seasons. Like the first 5 stories is one season. The first season for us here was a lot of it was leaning heavily on Carrot Top and Pencil Neck for the villains. But I'm dedicated to doing some really new, clever villains for next season, and I'm the stories have already been written, so I'm really pleased with them. But I think you guys will be pleased with them as well. It's quite exciting. It's quite exciting seeing what's happening. But I've got one more 3-issue arc coming out before then. And it's all going to depend, though, on whether Bullets Bourbon survives this arc that we're on now. As I said, it's going to culminate in a story called The Death of Bullets Bourbon, which, I don't know, does that mean the end? Not necessarily. Can the hero die and the strip continue? It kind of goes on all the time in comics, right? There's no rule saying otherwise. And we're going to... We gave Picklepuss a bit of a costume change here. He's usually wearing purple. I've got him in black here. Carrot Top is still wearing the sort of orangey red coat that he was wearing in the first issue. Sort of his trademark. And quite honestly, these are some pretty exciting changes that are going to be happening in the next season, so to speak. Some exciting new villains we have already prepared. We're going to see some old villains return, of course. But, I feel bad because I really can't get into it because we're still probably about 2 years off. But I'm planning to do an advertising campaign. That's what's the most exciting thing for me. We're going to advertise, hopefully get you all excited and ramped up about this. Still waiting to find out what's going to happen with the convention circuit. I was pretty close to, making my flea market appearances starting this week, but last minute change of plan. I didn't decide to do it, but as I said, keep up to date on Twitter. I'll let you know if I'm going to be doing the flea markets. For some reason, whenever I say flea market, my brain goes to yard sale. I want to say yard sale because that's essentially what it is. You just sit there at a table outdoors and say, "Hey, check this out." But I guess it's a little more ricocheted than a yard sale. I don't know. But anyway you slice it, I'll be trying to sell my wares pretty soon. I wanted to do some real, some epic videos, some recorded stuff. I got some ideas for some recorded stuff I'm going to do, but I gotta be slavish with the book now. As you can see, some of these areas in the drawing are like not finished. You see only one button on this side and the code is not properly drawn. That's because I didn't do the dialogue yet. Usually I do the dialogue before I start coloring, but in this case, where I'm taking so long with the coloring, and it's justifiable because quite honestly, it's a very complex book this time, very complex. But I have to get the coloring done, and then I will go to lettering and doing the word balloons, and hopefully I can do a good job with proofreading. So there you have it. Took my weekly constitutional again before the show. Quite nice out there. The weather, as I said, very hot. It's not oppressively hot yet, which is good. Get out there. Try to get some exercise. It's not easy for us guys to spend like 6 to 7 hours probably sitting here drawing and coloring, as the case with me right now, but I try to find any opportunity to get out there and walk. That's all you have to do is just walk. 45 minutes to an hour. Preferably every day, if not every other day. This has always been something that's been challenging with Picklepuss. I always color his warts, so to speak, separately, individually. I don't just plop a certain color in because I want them to look, I don't want them to look uniform. I want them to look misshapen, and sort of every single one looks a little different. And the placement of them is not always the same either. Sometimes it moves around. But yeah, not a lot to talk about today, as I said. We're going to have some new members of the cast showing up. It remains to be seen who they are, but you know how like when you do another season of a show, it depends. Sometimes they wait for like the third or fourth season to add other cast members. We're going to have more cast members added. You know, sometimes mostly semi-regulars. For instance, we saw Scotch, Horatio T. Scott, show up this season. He was in 2 storylines. He's not going to show up in this one we're in right now. But that's what I mean. You know, we have our recurring characters. They're going to come back. Some of them several times, like I said, to the point of being sort of like semi-regulars. Scotch is sort of just a recurring character, I would say. I don't know if I'd call him a regular or a semi-regular, but I'm looking forward to having him come back. He will appear again in the 2nd season. We're going to have, I'll tease a couple of things. We're going to have Smiling Sam come back at some point, another one of my favorite characters. So a lot of fun will be had in season 2 of The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon. And of course, like I said, you know, check out the link in the description below. You'll see our website. You'll see some preview pages for the most recent issue, which is the Family Jewels. We're working on issue number 8 now, Temptation Eyes. And it's coming along very well. I'm very pleased with it. I'm very pleased where we are right now as the series is progressing. We're building on it. As I've always said, the first few issues, I would say 1, 2, 3, maybe a little more than that. That's climbing up the hill. That's priming everybody and getting them ready for the adventure. Then, after 3, from there on in, it's just the greatest thrill ride you've ever had. And quite honestly, we're only beginning. This is only the beginning. This series is going to go on as long as I have strength to do it. And I've got a lot planned. So hopefully you join us. Check out, see what you've been missing. It's the greatest kept secret in indie comics. Quite honestly. I don't think enough people know about the book, unfortunately. And it's not really for lack of trying. I mean, I've got a profile on IndieCron. I've appeared on Open Mic Monday with Peter Samedi. I hit the convention circuit whenever I can, but you know, I haven't really done guest spots too often. So maybe I should do that. I don't know. But as much as I think my name is out there, I don't think really anybody has followed up on the books and seen what the story's about. And that's what disappoints me, because I'm not really in this for my name. I mean, obviously, I'm proud of the book. You know, I want my name associated with it. I enjoy having people react to me as the Bullets Bourbon guy, but I want people to read the books. I don't want people just to think of me as the personality, the fun guy that does the YouTube show or the appearance at the convention. I want them to, you know, think of the book, and I'm the guy that brought them the Bullets Bourbon series. That's really the objective. So, alrighty, I think we're just about done for today. This was always going to be a quick video. Gonna watch the Belmont Stakes. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Let's see. We'll wrap it up with. Yeah, it's a little too brown. Let's use darker color. It's usually has sort of a black cigarette holder. There we go. And Well, one of the fun things, I'll show you how we do this. I always have fun doing the smoke that comes out of the cigarettes. I bump up, let's see, I usually bump up the brush size to like 10 or 11. Then we pick a nice gray color and sort of a light gray. And then we hit the airbrush on the toolbox and just sort of do little circular patterns, kind of smoke wafting up out of the cigarette. You can get as creative or low key as you want with that, but that's always fun. It's a cool effect. I really enjoy. I picked out a lot of new effects to use this time around for this book. I did neon lighting, shadows, and contrast. I did a lot more subtle things and stuff like that. And that's the point. You always want to try to get better. You know, I mean, I've always said I pretty much have mastered my craft, I think, to the level that I can. You know, I'm not going to become Jim Lee all of a sudden or Jack Kirby, but I know my craft. And, you know, there's always something to learn, though. There's always, well, gee, this would be cool if I could figure out how to do this. And that's what I've always tried to do. If there's something I feel could be better, I try to figure out how to do it. And that's one of the things, the effects like smoke. Originally, that was very, you know, out there. That was impossible. That was a task that I couldn't crack. But, you know, once I started learning how to use the effects a little bit better, the different tools in the toolbox, you start putting together some different things and you'll see the difference. If you get a little creative, you know, you're not afraid to think outside the box and do what you got to do. All right, obviously this isn't completely done yet. I will continue to work on this. And I want to thank everybody that hung around for the nearly half hour that we've been together. Check out the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye on my website. Check out the link in the description below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, kind of a roller coaster ride with my subscribers lately, but see if you can't hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I promise there'll be much more interesting content next time we do a video. Haven't done a art stream in a while though, so hope you enjoyed it. And check out the link, of course, also for my Twitter page. Until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.